Good afternoon. Please join our graduates and rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, and please remain standing for our national anthem. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. My name is Wilhelm, and I'm the student body president. I'd like to extend a warm welcome to the teachers, parents, family, and friends here today, and welcome you all to the Fox Chapel Area High School graduation of 2022. We, the class of 2022, would not have come this far without your continuous support and encouragement, and we thank you as a class for everything that you do. Before I begin, I must make time to personally thank my mom, my baba, Nadia, and Yasmin here today. They are my support network and cheerleaders, and I truly would not be where I am today if it weren't for them. You have all been able to foster an environment in which this class can challenge the norms and exceed in athletics, STEM, debate, the arts, and more. This class was thrusted into an unprecedented learning environment, but throughout it all, we have grown, adapted, and excelled to become the unique people that we are today. And while we may not have climbed up the snowy mountains in a blizzard, swam in the flooded streets of a lightning storm, or walked the deserts just to get to school, as our parents say they once have, we have defied extraordinary odds through our endurance of a global pandemic. More than half of our high school career has in some way been impacted by this pandemic. Yet not only did we endure, but we also found our own voices, our values, our goals, and our passions amidst it all. And so to speak before my fellow classmates today is truly an honor, because the stories that we will tell future generations about the challenges of our high school experience will not need to be exaggerated. Sorry, friends. Some of us have recently received a letter from our 8th grade selves. For those of you who didn't, don't feel too bad, as these letters have mostly consisted of many cliche phrases and expressed with very poor grammar. However, in honor of this speech, I would like to expose myself and read a cringe-worthy yet relevant excerpt from mine. Ultimately, for your true success in life, be happy, be helpful, be strong, be kind, be understanding, ... be you. And so at some point today, as we celebrate our accomplishments and look forward to the next chapter of our lives, please take a moment to pat yourself on the back for all the times that you were helpful, strong, kind, or understanding in the past. And think ahead to how your plans for the future will enable you to continue down this road of success as the best version of yourself. And now I'm honored to welcome our lead principal, Dr. Howard.
Thank you, Nabila, and thank you to the Board of Directors, faculty, administration, family, and friends for being here to celebrate this momentous occasion. I have the honor and the duty to certify that the class of 2022 has met all the requirements for graduation. There you go. But before I do, I'd like to share a unique aspect of this moment from my perspective. It was March 15th, 2004, when I began a new chapter in my life. I was nervous, I was excited, all at once. This was the day that I began my career at Fox Chapel area. When I realized it was just about 18 years ago, I did a little birthday research this past week to see who else was maybe starting a journey at that time. What I realized was when about I was getting started here at FC, Owen Delaney, Ashley Goodlang were newborns, and Kaylee Ribby was going to be joining us the very next day. There you go. Happy birthday to you. So here we are, all of us, at this moment that was roughly 18 years in the making. And looking back over the 18 years, it reminds me that while on our journey, you may not be able to see who will be entering your life moving forward, whether it is only briefly or possibly for a lifetime. This was evident in my life. There I was, a quirky 12-year-old worried about literally everything and nervous about anything, mustering up the courage to sit in the student section at a local high school football game for the very first time. This was a big move for a 7th grader in the junior high. My friend Justin assured me that his older brother, was going to let us in by way of secret handshake or something like that. So I sat down, of course not in the student section, hoping not to be noticed. I looked behind me, and there was a beautiful, outgoing, crazy girl challenging any and all to, of all things, arm wrestling matches. Apparently, my classmates were losing to this would-be self-proclaimed champion all night long. She was outgoing, she was funny, and she definitely wasn't shy like me. As she beat them one by one, I was terrified at the mere prospect of what a defeat would do to bring my way. Looking back, cell phone documentation would have been the worst. I could feel the eyes focusing in on me as the 7th grade brazen beauty challenged me. Now, I'm not going to share who actually won that battle, but I will say at that moment, I asked her to be my friend for life. Plus, I needed the protection. But little did I know, as the years went on, that an arm wrestling match in 7th grade would lead to a lifetime of memories. 4 beautiful children, and a protection plan that does not expire. The point I'm sharing about this ridiculous story with you is so that you hopefully do not underestimate the relationships, connections, and important moments that you share with one another. So the next time someone walks into your life, or sits near you at graduation, or says hello on a whim, or even challenges you to an arm wrestling match, keep an open mind as to how that relationship may grow. For the parents, I have to tell you that I'm feeling what you're feeling. Excitement, pride, nostalgia, and even a little bit of sadness. I have one child well on her way running down her dreams, and I have another who received his high school diploma not more than a week ago. I wish I had advice for you, but I don't. I couldn't get through my own child's graduation as the chief videographer without accidentally using the slow-mo button, shaking the camera too much, and all the while I was trying to honestly hold back an onset of tears that I did not see coming. So you're out of luck at this event. But what I can say is as my relationships with my own children morph and evolve, I am learning that the moments I used to take for granted have now begun to space out. Whether it was a family dinner at our favorite restaurant where we celebrated virtually everything, or a campfire or a family vacation in our oversized conversion van, times will change. This is not a bad thing. It happens. We will continue to be the support network for these special people in our lives, regardless of the number of miles or life experience that develops between us. So do not worry if you hit the wrong button on your camera or phone, or record the person's head in front of you instead of your son or daughter receiving their diploma. And also don't worry if the floodgates open at any point during this ceremony or this speech, because I will be starting a support group meeting Thursday, so please contact me if you're interested. Class of 2022, as you move forward from this day, do it with a sense of joy, a sense of graciousness, and a sense of optimism, and embrace the relationships that are going to form in your life. So at this time, it's my pleasure to certify that the class of 2022 has met all the requirements for graduation, and now I would like to introduce Dr. Mary Catherine Reljak, Superintendent of Schools, to accept this class. Take care.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It is wonderful to be here with the graduation of the class of 2022 and to celebrate with our students, their families and friends, and our staff. Students, you are a very special group. You have shown yourselves to be scholars, athletes, artists, citizens, and caring people. You've achieved at high levels, led your peers, challenged yourselves, and contributed to our school community. You have demonstrated individual courage in facing difficulties, and you have supported each other through them. We are so proud of you. Although graduation is a time to celebrate, it can also be a time of uncertainty. And I often think in pictures, and in my mind, I see graduation as the end of one path and the beginning of many others. You've traveled the path of the last 13 years, and you have mastered the journey to be sitting here at your high school graduation ceremony. But as you graduate, there are now many paths open before you. Each path has multiple twists and turns. Some paths overlap with each other, and some abruptly end, requiring you to turn around. Some paths are well-trod, and others are very primitive. As a graduate, you will now be responsible to travel the path to your future. You are responsible to charter your own course and choose your own direction. You are responsible to determine what you wish to do, who you wish to be, and what you wish to accomplish. As you prepare to move from students to alumni, I want you to know that we believe in you. You are well prepared to embark on your journey and down your path. Although the class of 2022 will fan out on multiple individual paths, and Dr. Howell will run support groups for your families, please know that your Fox Chapel area school community is here for you. We will support you, we will cheer you, and we are in your corner. Our hope for you is that your individual paths will cross many times in the future, and that you will make the most of those future interactions with your peers from this graduating class and from others from the Fox Chapel Area School District. I wish you all the best. And now, as the Superintendent of Schools for the Fox Chapel Area School District, and in line with my responsibilities through the Pennsylvania Department of Education, I accept the graduating class of 2022 and prepare them for graduation. Congratulations.
Good afternoon. I'm Mary Beth Dadd, the president of the school board. Well, students, you had quite a unique high school experience, didn't you? It all started off as usual in 9th grade, but then the world turned upside down as you entered the spring of 10th grade. You had to contend with virtual learning, hybrid learning, canceled school events, and eventually the slow return to normalcy. But you persevered through all of this. You stuck it out through not seeing friends or relatives for months on end. Perhaps worrying about your health, the health of yourself and your family. But you did it, you pushed through. And as you go through life, I want you to remember the hard things you did over the last 2.5 years. Whether you choose to enter the workforce, military, an apprenticeship, or college, you are unstoppable. Think about what this pandemic life has taught you. Did it teach you not to give up when struggling through a class? Did it teach you to advocate for yourself with your teachers? Did it teach you how to handle the disappointments of canceled life events or activities that you love? Did it teach you that sometimes it's good to slow down and take care of yourself? Or just how important your friends are to you? All these lessons are shaping the person you are becoming and will help you continue to do the hard things in life. So congratulations to the class of 2022. Go out there and do the hard things and show the world just how great you are. But before you do that, I want you to thank your parents and family members for helping you through these last 13 years. They have also worked hard to get you here. They have pushed you to do hard things, and you have made them and all of us so proud. Thank you.
Good afternoon. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Lance Wilhelm, and it's an honor to have been selected as the class of 2022's graduation speaker at large. But before I say anything else, I obviously want to thank my wonderful parents for always believing in me and getting me where I am today.
And I want to give a special shout out to all my extended family who flew out all the way from California to see me graduate today. Even though you didn't know I was speaking today, because I may or may not have forgot to mention that to you. So surprising yes to you guys. My initial plan for today was to do what so many commencement speakers do, and focus on what's next for all of us. Because that is an exciting idea, what's next. And I think that's how many of us think about high school. Nothing but a bridge to the next step in our lives, be it college, the military, the workforce, or something else. And it's that philosophy that leads to many second semester seniors questioning their purpose here at the high school. What's the point, we ask ourselves, as senioritis slowly starts to smother our academic drive? Deepest apologies to all my second semester teachers from this year, by the way. High school is, at its heart, meant to get us from point A to point B. But if high school really is just a bridge to the rest of our lives, what happens when we reach the end of that bridge? Do we just start all over on the next one? What was the point? Today, I'm going to give you my answer to that question. But I do want to take a moment to sincerely thank all the teachers and faculty at the Fox Chapel Area School District for making our experience a memorable one, even through Zoom calls. I speak on behalf of my entire class when I say that, of course, we could not have done it without you. Okay, I know we're all tired of hearing about the pandemic at this point, but please bear with me here for just a couple of minutes. In the beginning of the lockdown, online school was the dream. It was as if the one wish that kids around the world asked for every single year was finally granted. It was a never-ending snow day. No finals, no early mornings, less stress, and plenty of new experiences. For example, Mr. Rios' completely unexpected decision to shave his head, which led to something else that was equally unexpected. All the girls temporarily putting a pin in their crushes on Mr. Rios. You laugh because you know it's true. Don't worry though, they all came back. The crushes all came back in his hair. But one day, a good few weeks into the lockdown, I was doing jumping jacks in front of my computer screen for online gym class. And something happened that I never would have imagined in all 12 years I've been in the Fox Chapel Area School District. Mid-jumping jack, I thought to myself, all I want to do is go back to school. And my initial reaction was thinking, what's wrong with me? No more school, this is what I've always wanted. But the truth was, I really missed it. I missed the teachers, the chicken patties, cracking jokes with my lab group, actual gym class. I would say that I started to miss the aspects of school that I didn't even know I could miss. For instance, and I'm sure everyone in my grade will know who I'm talking about when I say this, there's a senior out there in the audience today who, without fail, will always hold the door for everyone else, even if it means staying. Andrew will always hold the door for everyone else, even if it means standing there for 5, even 10 minutes on end. Seldom have I ever spoken to this student outside of class. During my lockdown, I found myself reflecting on his kindness and generosity throughout the years I've known him. Perhaps what was even more surprising was that I found myself missing the famed Fox Chapel substitute teacher, Mr. Becker. And I can tell by the laughs that all the students know who that is. But for the families, I'll sum him up for you real quick. He's an older gentleman who, per source, still uses those old-fashioned hand-turning signals, even though he has a fully functioning 2020 BMW. What he's most known for, however, is always, and I mean always, having story after story to tell. To the point where, if you have Mr. Becker as your sub, you're pretty certain you aren't going to be getting much done that period. But it was one of those late lockdown nights, and I thought about him. I thought about how he chooses to come in and spend time with teenagers who, even I admit, I definitely cannot stand sometimes. And I thought about how his face lights up anytime he gets to tell one of us his stories. How special, I thought, that we can make someone like Mr. Becker so happy by just slowing down, looking up from our phones for once, and listening to him. I started to wonder what stories I would tell in 50 years, and more importantly, who would be around to listen to them. That's what I really found myself yearning to go back to school for. Those small moments that may seem insignificant to us, but that can mean the world to others. Before coming into high school, I remember asking some seniors at the time for advice. And many of them said something along the lines of this: enjoy high school to the fullest while you can, because it'll be over before you know it. Truthfully, like many people, I'm not so certain I followed that advice as much as I should have. So when freshmen started to ask me for advice this year, I said something very similar. I wish I would have slowed down and enjoyed the moment more. But every single year, freshmen tend to slowly but surely forget about that one all-important piece of advice. As we go throughout high school, many of us start focusing on that one next thing. Sports tryout, a test, college applications. We end up getting so caught up in the big picture, that scary idea of what's next, that we forget to enjoy the small picture that we are part of here and now. And that brings me back to my initial question. What was the point of high school? For me, just like so many other aspects of our lives, high school was about the relationships we had and our interactions with others, be they big or small. It's seeing people smile, even if it was behind a mask, and knowing that a small gesture of kindness, like holding the door for someone or taking the time to listen, can make someone's day. For me, high school was about learning the importance of living in the moment, and knowing that even though most of our paths will not cross again after today, the short time we did have with each other mattered. We have all, in some way, become a part of each other's stories during these past 4 years. And I can say that for certain, in 50 years, I will be telling stories that I made here at Fox Chapel Area High School. Like how I got eliminated in the first 3 minutes of the gotcha game. Thank you for that, Madam President. But in all seriousness, hopefully, as we all move forward in our lives, we'll try not to forget that one all-important piece of advice that I'm sure will be repeated to us time and time again. To take the time to slow down and enjoy those precious little moments. Because, as Andy Bernard said in The Office, you only know you're in the good old days after you've already left them. Thank you.
If you don't know me, I'm Sarah Kende, and I've had Mr. Norberg 2 years now, and something he always said was, see the forest from the trees. And history is an interesting subject, because unlike math, you're not going to use the Pythagorean theorem in your everyday life. But history, you use the reasons why we're here. And every day in class, Mr. Norberg, he made that important. It wasn't just about why memorizing when World War II ended, it was understanding what was the importance of that. And that grew even into his interest in pushing students to the max. On the first day, he gave a presentation talking about the AP test. And while it would have been easy to show what the past scores was, he talked about the participation because he truly cares about pushing students and went beyond the curriculum. Whether it was having us create a tier list of presidents or having us talk to our elderly family members and learn about our own history. I think every student who has had Mr. Norberg can say that after his class, even if you had a simple interest in history, he truly turned it into a passion. That's why I am proud to announce Mr. Norberg as the inspiring educator selected by the class of 2022.
Well, thank you, Sid. In March 1783, following the American Revolution, George Washington gave a final address to his generals. And at the address, George had to put on a newly required pair of reading glasses. And his generals sort of stepped back and realized how old he was. And I thought, I don't know that. So, thank goodness for the 21st century, George. I just printed my speech real big, so I didn't have to wear my own manual. Sorry about that. Inspirational educator, what an honor. And I have to tell you, class of 2022, I have not felt very inspirational over the last couple of years. It's been challenging. And from a personal, professional level, I thank you for this. It really means a lot. I think I need it. Sincerely, class of 2022, thank you from the bottom of my heart for this honor and recognition. I'd like to extend thanks and congratulations to all the members of the class, but a special congratulations to the students I had the pleasure of having in class. A special shout out goes to my QRT. my official QR team members, and I've got some adopted ones as well. You know who you are. And thank you. Honoring me with this award, again, is special. However, for you, the class of 2022, I think your legacy at Fox Chapel will serve as inspirational as well. Think about it. Because of the pandemic, you know what? I'm not even going to say it. We're going to make it like Voldemort. You know what happened. I know what happened. We don't need to talk about it. We all know you had a full freshman year, part of a sophomore year, and a very modified junior year. But your senior year was just about back to normal. And from where I'm standing, you were very inspirational in your approach to your final year of school. I hope that the underclasses and the underclass students that are here today will take notice of the spirit and enthusiasm you brought to this school year. And I would challenge you to maintain the high standards you set. Don't tell my bosses behind me, but when students aren't in the building, when the professional development days, they're very rewarding, but they are the longest days of the year. Students bring life to the building. They bring spirit to the building. When I'm sitting in my classroom trying to coordinate to make sure that every one of my big tests fell on the same day as every other test for your junior year, I'm totally kidding. We don't actually do that. It just was crazy. But when I'm sitting in my classroom planning this, you can feel when the bell's about to ring. There's an energy, there's a spirit, there's a shuffling of chairs and voices and doors. In the morning when you're sitting there quietly in the building, you can sort of feel this pulse of the students entering and coming through the building. You make the day, you make the school come alive, and this class brought school back in a big way. You helped make the full return to school a great one, and a year to remember. It was like you had a year and a half of pent-up passion, dedication, and school spirit, and it all came out in your culminating year. From homecoming, to the telethon, to the prom, you brought back and embraced a great year of events. You filled the auditorium with music and song again. You filled student sections at the games. You did the Foxes Rumble with a passion. Just about every sports team made the playoffs and had athletes advance in the WPIL and state tournaments. Section championships, state playoff runs, 4 Whitfield championships, I think. What a year on the fields and courts. Now, I live in North Hills. My children go to North Hills. Several of my North Hills friends were considering banning me from going to games when we played the Foxes, because every time I showed up, you won. And in the classroom, you brought education back. You may have been home the previous year and a half, but in your senior year, you never forgot your love of in-person learning and your willingness to work hard in the pursuit of knowledge. Academic competitions, AP exams, keystone tests, SATs, ACTs, all over the building. You brought a level of excellence that all of the teachers and staff truly appreciated. Thank you. You made teaching fun again. As you all move forward to life beyond high school, I hope you continue to keep this energy, enthusiasm, and passion. Please don't forget the lessons you learned when you were in the building and the life lessons you learned when you were out. Lastly, I'd like to leave you with one last history lesson. Some people are thinking, this is going to be a while. I'm cutting this one short, I promise. Those of you that have been in my history classroom, and you mentioned it, know that I like to rank the presidents. We did a little tiering even. You guys had some fun with that. This year, one of my students even said, Mr. Norberg, we heard you have a man crush on James K. Polk. I'm not even sure what that means. However, I do rank Abraham Lincoln very highly. Some of you know that. And I'm going to tell you today that Abraham Lincoln was wrong about one thing. And you're not going to hear me say Abraham Lincoln was wrong too often. But behind me is a copy of his famous Gettysburg Address. And if you've never read it, take a minute while you're sitting here today. This very short speech did an amazing job to capture the spirit of the United States, the purpose of the Civil War. But he has one line that is wrong. Take a look at the line, please, right over here. The world will little note, nor long remember what we say here, but can never forget what they did here. Lincoln was wrong. His words were so powerful that when he came to Gettysburg in November of 1863 to dedicate the cemetery there, they did remember what he said, and definitely what those soldiers did at that historic battle. And I see a connection with Lincoln's line. I see a connection with Lincoln's line and this graduating class and this very special day. Now, this is not the Civil War, and I do not have the oratory skills of Abraham Lincoln. But I will bet you will not remember what we say here today. But let me assure you, this school and this community will never forget what you did here. Class of 2022, I want to wish you all the best of luck in your future endeavors. It's been a pleasure, and thank you.
Well, it looks like I have to scratch all my Abraham Lincoln stuff, so give me 1 second. No, but really, it's going to be right about that speech. Hello, class of 2022. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Omar Shalby. Firstly, I want to thank my peers for giving me the opportunity to be the scholar speaker. It truly is a privilege to speak before you all today. I also want to thank my parents and siblings. I'm so blessed to have you in my life, and words cannot describe how grateful I am. I wouldn't be half as ready to go into these next chapters without you, and I'm forever indebted to your will. Speaking today, I'm conflicted. On one hand, I am happy to get out of here. Moving forward is an exciting step, and I'm sure that sentiment is shared amongst us all. However, as the end has been inching closer and closer, I can't help but feel the bitter part of this bittersweet moment. Memories of my time here at Fox Chapel flood my mind, and I reminisce on the good times. For example, I doubt that I'll ever be able to play the Wii in a class again, while hearing James Traxler say he's the best there ever was at Mario Kart. I won't hear Mrs. Yakinelli's room blasting the song Dance Monkey at 8 o'clock in the morning for an entire half of school to hear. I'll miss ranking presidents in Mr. Norberg's class. But most of all, I'll miss creating friendships over activities like those. I'd like to share a particular story with you all today, and hopefully motivate you to remember good times as well. In 9th grade, I was in Miss Rust's English class discussing To Kill a Mockingbird with my peers. Now, Miss Rust has this assortment of treats and snacks that occasionally she would allow us to take from. This was one of those days, so I walked up and saw some pretzels on Eduardo's plate. I figured I wanted something salty, so I took a few, started munching. Took 1 bite, 2 bites, and I tasted a very unfriendly taste. Peanut butter. You see, I'm allergic to peanuts, so I spit it out and told my friends that I was about to go into an allergic reaction. They laughed. Great friends they are. Because Miss Rust, aware of my allergy, had frequently told me about the pretzels filled with peanut butter, and had written peanut butter in bold on the pretzel container. You couldn't miss it. But quickly, as my throat was tightening, my friends told Miss Rust, who instructed me to go to the nurse's office. For those of you who had Miss Rust this year, now you know why there are no peanut butter snacks in her room. I have to take credit for that. I remember this story not because of the allergic reaction or anything of the sort. It's because the period after, as I was in the nurse's office, many of my friends from that class came in and checked on me, making sure I was feeling well. Now that may seem insignificant, but it was the first time that I had recognized people outside of my family caring about my well-being and health. More stories such as this one appeared as the years went on, and that's what made high school special for me. It was the start of creating meaningful relationships that I hope to maintain as I grow older. Although it's upsetting that great moments such as these are in the past, I'm glad that I was able to be in an environment in which they could occur. High school offered relationship-building activities in an amazing and unique way. I constantly think about a quote from an inspirational and lovable character. Winnie the Pooh said, "How lucky I am to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard. How lucky I am to have something that makes saying goodbye so hard." I hope you all remember your something or someone that made these past 4 years special as we move forward into our lives. Speaking of the future, that's really why we are here today. As we go into college or work or trade school or the armed services, our independence will flourish and we'll learn more about ourselves and our communities. We'll become fully functioning members of society and help shape the future of our world. At the same time, we'll have to think twice before putting guacamole on our Chipotle orders. And our beds will no longer magically be made when we go to sleep at night. This reality is a bit of a scary thought, so our excitement is met with some anxiety. But let me ask you all this. When has transition not been scary? I remember the terrifying thought of going into high school. All of our middle school teachers described it as a prison, where late homework and goofing off were punishable by death. Of course, it wasn't like that, but there was a step up in the way things worked. Yet we all came out okay, and discovered new passions and hobbies along the way. So whenever I look at this transition, I know that all of us can prosper and face the challenges ahead, because we've done it before and we've done it at the highest level. I have full confidence in this class to be the leaders wherever we go. So to end this speech, I'll merge the past and the future and leave you all to reflect. Think about the goals you've accomplished here at Fox Chapel, whether academically, in sports, or socially, and congratulate yourselves. You've worked hard and deserve a pat on the back. Now think of the goals you wish to accomplish and bring those forward with you into the next stages of your life. That way at your next graduation or ceremony, not only can you look at what you've accomplished there, but you can also recognize your perseverance and will to become your best self. You'll be unstoppable in your pursuits and be a pioneer of tomorrow. So let's step up to the plate and become the creators of powerful and innovative ideas and technologies. Let us become the next Steve Jobs or William Shakespeare and leave a mark on the history books to come. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is John McGee, and I'm one of the principals here in the building. And the honors and accolades of the class of 2022 have been well documented by Dr. Ralja, Dr. Howard, Mr. Norberg, and your classmates. You are indeed a very special class, whether it be athletically, in the classroom, or just as human beings. You have excelled and overcome adversity that many students prior to you have not. So congratulations for that. Every spring, Dr. Howard, Dr. Wentz, and I, we get together and we start what is often a lively debate. We meet every Monday for about 2 hours and talk about things that we're going to do during the week and responsibilities that we have. But another part of our conversation is the Principal Leadership Award. And the Principal's Leadership Award was very difficult for us to come up with some recipients this year because so many of you exemplified the characteristics and qualities that go behind it. Respect, responsibility, integrity, good leaders, and basically just great all-around people. So, although many in this class are worthy of the award, we had to come up with, we usually do 2. But since your class is so special, we're going to give you 3 for the price of 2 this year. So, it is my honor and privilege to announce the class of 2022 Principal Leadership Award recipients. Beata Turnquist, Lydia Turnquist, and last but not least, Russell Fenton. Great job, kiddos.
Okay, class of 2022, it's about that time. Receive our diplomas.
Omar Shalom. Lance Earl Wilhelm. Nakira Aliyah Islam. Sihar Yandi. Nina Ronnie Bush. Russell William Benton. Lydia Rose Turnquist. Kiara Lane Turnquist. Madeline Teresa Dick. Julia DeMarco. Owen Elliott Carter. AJ Carlini. Andrew Jordan Biasor. Abigail Lauren Bliss. Celine Lewis Patrick. Louise Elizabeth Coleman. Rainey Leitner Riley, Leitner McIntyre. John Michael Lawrence. Nicholas Gabriel Michelle. Anne Ashley Jonas. Eduardo Piva Weissman. James Owen Trigerson. Sri Thada. Sangmin Park. Uma Lashami Mazumdar. Nathaniel DeGeorge Muller. Harry Shura Lackis. Laura Elizabeth Clement. Janice Suyang Kim. Danielle Mariah Holmes. Owen Kashmiri Audra Hershey. Claire Madeline Hamilton. Mona Gerges. Anna Korb Ferris. Justine Shoei Ng. Shay Elizabeth Davison. Monica Chen. Noah Oliver Bradley. Gabrielle Nicole Bell. Andrew James Reisenberg. Miguel Bagos Commendo. Jonah Ellen Kurtzman. Jonah William Compton. Patrick Erie Alexander. Matthew Jeffrey Rover. Kate Isabella Kinston. Sasha Francis Hayden. Ellen Faith Gray. Ashley Catherine Goodland. Tyler Michael Drum. Leona K. Clark. Lauren Hennessy Childs. Bobby Chapman. Ian Arthur Chamberlain. Lydia Cavicchioli. Weston Charles Carvel. Henry Cormac Brown. Samara Alexander. Shane Barker. William Jeffrey Burger. Ryan James Burger. Ronan Brassman. Vicki Rosemary Boyd. Brooke Alexandra Bowman. Mackenzie Louise Orkovich. Ellen Erica Futall. Alexa Cindy Berman. Casilionis Vamos. Justine Monique Bennett. Andre Alexander Bennett. Edward Ashley Howard. Carly Brianne Burnett. Jessica Bailey Paul. Eric John Baker. Charlie Redden Ottenberg. Gregory Paul Klutz. Ian Zachary Lockhart. Sean Adia. Nolan Edward Adams. Jacob Christian Williams. Ian David DeBon. Milo Martinez. Ava Ann Marston. Grace Teresa Leventree. Justin Ryan Friday. Thomas Corey Freeman. Elon Jahan Fowler. Grace Emily Flanagan. Emily Marie Flanagan. John Fowler. Natalie Michelle Fabian. Hannah Elizabeth Essie. Catherine Elizabeth Eccles. Lizette Eleanor Dodd. Sean Jacob Dunn. Odin Elias Duke. Aaron Marie David. Jacob Thomas Donovan. Savannah L. Donatelli. James Preston Docker. Carol Lynn DiNatale. Colin Jeffrey Dietz. Caitlin Ann Stephen. David Gustav Darrow. Anthony Vincent DePascal. Jacob Brian DeMott. Megan Rita Kaluga. Owen Thomas Delaney. Siobhan Allen Davis Bismuth. Marissa J. Cox. Robert Amanda Colleton. Elizabeth McCray Twixton. William Maven Cooper. Quentin Daniel Cook. Vanessa J. Contreras. Ian Alexander Conlon. Catherine Lawrence Seidel. Lydia Elizabeth Saget. Lauren Marie Rabbit. Simeon Nathaniel Thomas Owens. Madeline Catherine Muller. Ethan Oliver Hunt. Jack Ryan Lawrence. That was impressive, Jack. Emily Gray Hook. Michelle Elizabeth Higgins. Amelia Grace Curzon. Samuel Thomas Henry. Jerry Roger Parker. Francesca K. Heidi. Grace Catherine Hewitt. Thomas Vernon Gilly. Mackenzie Grace Parker. Colin Patrick Hadley Murphy. Olivia Jean Hagan. Jordan Kyle Wing. Elizabeth Ann Burton. Olivia Ann Guerrero. Elisa Sue Good. Rachel Ashlyn Grimsley. Maya A. Ravina. Kevin Gabriel Brains. Aiden Ryan Gleason. Sarah Louise DeFray. Olivia Christine Giovanni. Ella Ann Giuseppe. Joseph Omar Gatsi. Noor Omar Gatsi. Max Gemamas. Isabel Victoria Geraci. Hunter Philip Yellow. Gavin Jeffrey Pepper. Renaya Nicole Gaston. Kristen Alexander Gallion. Gabrielle Ushase Uku. Lydia Joyce Tuttle. Sadie Lane Jerry. Anna Catherine Szymanski. Ian Christopher Matthew Piccolo. Danielle Riley Lewis. Henry Lynn. Margot Alexis Levinson. Catherine Marie Leggy. Caitlin. Christina Lee. Amber Grace Lee. Colin Reed Mikowski. Hugo Labuyani. William J. Mikowski. Abigail Ariana Kozlov. Tyler Joseph Kurtz. Caleb John Kowalski. Neil Lewis Kashowski. Alex Stephen Frist. Angelica Lee Goldman. Ethan Joseph Hatchett. Brendan Richard Cox. Nicholas Robert Gordon. Molly Ann Ford. Esther Thea Coe. Gabrielle Elizabeth Klein. James Samuel Kissinger. Bridget Gavin Kilmer. Cindy Claire Kennedy. Elizabeth Page Coffey. Brett Logan Coffey. Elena Marie Cassidy. Riley Brett Johnson. Max Christopher Johnson. Cindy Morgan English. Theo Rebecca Ayazawa.
Alex Harris Chapman. Hunter James Wyman. Ariana Demetria Aswella. Vanya Elizabeth Harler. Bryn Palmer. Shane Arthur O'Connor. Anna Reese Norrie. Allison Renee No. John Kevin Neal. Esther Naraki. Ethan James Napolitan. Luke Patrick Murray. Finn Michael Monroe. Maya Danielle Morgan. Allison Kathleen Monroe. Jacob Thomas Mystic. Cassidy Marie Minton. Kiara Sky Minson. Zachary James Miller. Delaney Blagovich Miller. Anthony Maurice Miles. Will McNamara. Eli Joseph McMillan. Rudy Michael McManus. Kaylee Rose McKinley. Addison Bryn McElroy. Mannix Gabriel McCagney. Braden Lee McCormick. Hope Reed Mathis. Shanoa Ann Matthews. Matthew Jack Marquette. Alden Adams March. Haley
Colleen Davis Sauereisen. Aurora Chase Sauereisen. Maurice O'Brien Sampson Salter. Tristan James Sacco. Grace Haley Rogelski. Wilson Gray Brunette. Finbar James Ruff. Jenna Margaret Rubicam. Isabella Genevieve Rubicam. Danielle Elizabeth Rubicam. Carter James Rowe. Enzo Nicholas Rotuno. Nathaniel Scott Stephen Ross. Chloe Louise Jacqueline Rongier. Sam Forbes Rockwell. Leonardo Rock Martinez. Ava Carol Rose. Vincent Ronald Ryber. Malia Lynn Regan. Ivan Julian Rapp. Madison Lauren Quince. Joshua James Posnick. Anna Elizabeth Poole. Olivia Grace Hovai. Luca Francis Pistella. Sophie Nicole Polarski. Eleanor Cedric Peterson. Paloma E. Pelfrey. Olivia Laura Pelcher. Kylie Lamont Patterson. Jacob Lee Patterson. Parthi Rajesh Patel. Kayla Lise Truswell Jacobs. Elijah Jabri Trimber. Jonathan Daniel Traub. Nicole Elizabeth Trasati. Christina Tu Tran. Mirabella Tramontina. John Paul Tramontina. Siding Thomas. Daniel K. Thomas. Emma Jean Szymanski. Cullen Thomas Sunday. Ashish Sabeti. Julia Lynn Stuxman. Vanessa Christine Strain. Isabella Jolie Stern. Colin Stevens. Alex James Staub. Aiden Rex Squire. Ray Molina Sperry. Sarah Lene Solomon. Noah Jacob Snyder. Oliver Cooper Smith. Holden Albert Smith. Julian Saluka. Samuel Robert Slimberg. Zoe Marie Skirball. Annabelle Rose Siddons. Kylie Shearing. Jade Caitlin Shepard. Carissa Elizabeth Shepard. Ian Sebastian Shelby. Jacob Alex Shellstack. Benjamin David Shellstack. Hunter Michael Sheehan. Thomas James Scott. Ashton Lee Schutzman. Mitchell Joseph Hiller. Ryan Kyle Zatman. Connor Anderson Zakin. Darius Allen Zaborowski. Eli Hutton Yofan. Harris Marilyn Waldemuth. Zachary David Work. Raymond James Worson III. Jason Duran Williams Anderson. Ashton Everett Wick. Aiden Kenneth Whitlinger. Jordan Alexander White. Troy Theodore Welty. Michaela C. Weiner. Nash Jordan Wedner. Elena Diane Ava Marie Vida. Anushka Rajalakshmi Dees. Benjamin Anton Vesser. Lucy Catherine Volcanis. Kaylee Juliana Uribe. Olivia Rose Tall. Ladies and gentlemen, Fox Chapel Area High School class of 2022.
I will now ask you all to stand. And please switch your tassel from the right to the left side. I'm going to ask everybody to join the graduates and please stand for the alma mater. If you plan on throwing your hat, please remove your tassel. And I want to remind my graduates to pick up your actual diplomas behind the stage after the ceremony. And now, on my countdown, starting at 3, we may all throw our hats. You guys can count. 3,